My name is Jake Solberg, and I will be performing an iPhone 6s battery replacement. You see right there, it says iPhone S, so yeah, iPhone 6s, and the battery, and you can see that the maximum capacity is at 74%, which is really bad. It'll only last about, a few hours between charges. Really isn't that good. To start off, we're gonna want to power down the phone just to make sure the battery doesn't cause any problems if there's no power going to the motherboard while we're performing this operation. For this, you will need a replacement battery adhesive to keep the battery in the frame of the phone so it doesn't wobble around, and then you'll need these tools: suction cup to pull the screen up from the frame of the phone, spudgers to work your way around the edge of the phone screen, these little plastic triangles also to help you work around the screen adhesive to pull it up, a SIM card tool, which don't necessarily need. We're not going to be removing the motherboard today. And then 3 screwdrivers, Phillips, pentalobe, and flathead. And we will only be needing the Phillips and the pentalobe, because you're only going to be removing 4 screws. And then we also have a magnet pad just to keep our screws organized and in order, and keep them from rolling around or losing them. So first, you want to take the pentalobe screwdriver to the 2 pentalobe screws in the bottom. Apple likes to annoy people by using pentalobe screws. They're special, they're 5-star, if you don't understand what pentalobe means. And they're just really annoying, really annoying screws and screwdriver. So now that we got the screws out, gently start pulling up on the screen. I try to get my fingernail into the... Sorry, I'm gonna have to replace this suction cup closer to the bottom so I can actually get it. There we go. So so you pull up the screen, and there you go. You gotta... The suction cup will probably come off depending on how much force you use, so you just gotta be careful. I'm going to start working my way around the plastic with a spudger, just to cut through the adhesive. It's so much nicer when you cut through the adhesive, then you can actually pry the screen up, because the adhesive is really what's keeping it held into the frame of the phone. I'm going to use the spudger again and probably just use my fingernails. The suction cup isn't really working right now. Yeah, so just use the spudger again. Because these spudgers are plastic, they won't really damage your phone, but the spudger will get damaged really quickly and start to break. So you gotta be careful with that. Okay, there we go. I've worked my way all around the phone now. You can start to see it's lifting up from the frame of the phone. I'm gonna use my fingernails some more. And then you want to gently pry up the screen. There we go. And see how this adhesive, it's really annoying. I'm not going to take the time and effort to remove it all from the frame of the phone though, because we are just going to be putting the screen right back down in. You'll want to get your Phillips screwdriver. And one thing that I would recommend is taking out the taptic engine screw here, and you want to put the right screw on the right and the left screw on the left, just to keep them organized on your magnet pad. You don't necessarily need a magnet pad, but it is nice to have. And you just pull the taptic engine out. Apple's taptic engine is really cool. They're version of a vibrating motor, and I think, from what I know, it just slides back and forth instead of like a spinning motor. Okay, and then you're going to want to, before you do anything to the battery, you're going to want to unplug it from the phone. So take the screws out for the battery plate and put them on your magnet pad. Again, right on the right, left on the left, just to get things a little bit, just keep things more organized. And if you want, you can put the plate and the engine right next to where the screws go. Okay, so to unplug the battery, you may want to use a spudger, or you can just use your fingers. You just pry up like that, and you're going to want to bend it out of the way so it doesn't make an accidental connection when you're trying to remove the battery. Then you're going to want to take Apple's nice little adhesive tabs and pick at them a little bit. You don't want to tear them or rip them right away, because that will make your job 100 times more hard in getting the battery out. You might have to tear the battery out, and there's a risk of the battery exploding if you do that. The battery does have a charge protection circuit, but you never know. If you puncture the battery, it'll start to leak electrolyte, which is pretty flammable. So once you got those adhesive tabs, one thing that I'm actually going to do right now, just in case, because I don't want to damage the screen while trying to pull the battery adhesive out. I'm going to take off the screen. You got 4 screws up here at the top where I'm unscrewing right now, and you're going to want to keep those organized too, because they are different sizes. You do not want to get the wrong sizes, because you do have a chance of damaging your motherboard if you install the wrong screw into the wrong hole. This long screw right here is a bit of a pain, because usually the screwdrivers that come with battery replacement kits aren't strong enough to just lift it out of the hole. So there we go, we got it. And you want to set it on the magnet pad and lift up this bracket, and again you can put it next to your screws. Just make it a little easy for yourself to remember where everything is. Okay, now I got the screen out of the phone right here. Yeah, so we're going to set the screen off to the side because we don't necessarily need to do anything more with it right now. And then you want to you grab these adhesive tabs, and I'd recommend tweezers. I just don't have any right now, which kind of sucks. You just start to pull slowly and gently, just because you do not want those ripping and then sliding under the battery, because once they do that, you're gonna have to rip the battery out. There's not much else you can do. I sincerely hope that doesn't happen to this battery, because my grandma did charge it up to almost 100% before she gave it to me, and if I were to puncture the battery at this high of a voltage, it might explode. So I'm glad that those worked out. Usually if you're gonna replace a battery, just to be safe, you're gonna want to discharge it. You don't want to have very much charge left in this when you replace it, because you might have problems if the battery gets punctured or if it gets damaged at all when you're trying to replace it. You do not want to have a chance of exploding. So yeah, just be careful. Discharge it before you attempt to replace it. I'm gonna put this off to the side. We're probably gonna dispose of that in a proper way at a proper time. You do not want to throw away lithium-ion batteries. They can cause dump fires, and that's not good for anyone or anything or the environment if that happens. Fires are not very good. So I pulled out the battery. There's just to test it really quick before you put the adhesive on the back. You're going to want to see how it fits into the phone, see if it actually plugs in correctly, and yeah, So with this one, it does. You never know. Sometimes you'll have to refold the flex cable, which I'll show you what that is in a second once I unplug this battery. This is the flex cable right here. Sometimes this company was good. It folded it for me. Sometimes you'll have to fold it to get it to fit right. At this point, we can replace the Taptic engine because now that we pulled the adhesive out of the way, we no longer need to have it out of the phone, and it's always good to remember to put it back. It also it's also nice when you're put the Taptic engine back in before you put the battery in, just because you don't want to accidentally mess up the positioning of your battery. The Taptic engine kind of boxes it in and makes it so you can know where to put the battery. The Taptic engine is now back in. I will show you how to put the adhesive on these batteries. Thankfully, this company gave me 2 sets of adhesive, which is pretty nice. Usually I can just do it in one, but if you do mess up, you'll be grateful for the second one. And I hope you don't mess up more than twice. Or more than once, sorry. Okay, so this is the front of the battery, because the flex cable is on the right side and plugs into the motherboard on the right side. So you want to flip this around, and you'll want to put it like this. You'll want the adhesive to be down like this. Let me show you. You'll peel off these little plastic bits, and well, actually, sorry. Get the front of the phone. You'll want to peel off. Sorry. Yeah, you want to peel this off also. Crap, I already got a hair on there. That sucks. It is adhesive after all. You want to take the front of the battery and put the adhesive just on the edge, just this little lip, and make sure it's stuck on. Poke it if you have to. Just make sure it's on. And then you'll want to take this and pull it tight and start to put the adhesive down on the battery so it actually sticks to the back of the battery. And then you can peel up the plastic bit and set it in the phone. You want to be careful when you're putting it in, that you're putting it in there before the adhesive sticks to the frame of the phone, because that would suck and you'd have to take out the new adhesive and replace that. I got it in, and now I can put the bracket back in, and you can install the screws. Again, remember where left is left and right is right, just so you don't mess that up. Again, you can damage the motherboard if you put the wrong screws into the wrong part of the phone. And never try to over-tighten the screws. Tighten it until it's a good tightness, but not overly tight. If you have it overly tight, it will cause problems. Okay, so now we got the battery in. I'm going to plug in the screen, which has 3 flex cables up here at the top. Plug in the right one first. You do have to kind of finagle this one. There we go. There's one in there. 2, 3. They'll make nice little clicks. Before I put the bracket back on the screen, flex cables, I want to test to see if the battery works. You power on the phone using the power button on the side, and the Apple logo is showing up, and we'll see this boot up in a second. And usually these batteries come charged, but you will want to charge it after you have after you've replaced the battery. See, it's at 60% capacity, or 60% charge, so that's good. I'm going to power the phone back down again, just while I'm putting the bracket back on and putting the screen back into the frame of the phone. I don't want to have any accidental power surges. So you lift up the screen. When you're doing this screen, never try not to ever let it go past 90 degrees from the frame of the phone. this little angle right here, you don't want it to be more than 90 degrees. It can cause damage to the flex cables, and it might unplug them, which can be annoying. Take the Phillips screwdriver and start putting the screws back in the phone. Dang it, where did that go? I'm sure you guys are like, oh, it's there. No, there it is. Yeah, sometimes I lose the screws into the frame of the phone. The best way to find them is just turn the phone upside down. So I'm gonna put the screws back in. Here's another time when tweezers are really handy, is putting the screws in, especially if you don't have a strong magnetic screwdriver. There we go. I always put the longest one in first. It kind of anchors everything down. Once you get it screwed in just a little bit, then you can start screwing it in. Readjust where the bracket is and start screwing it in more. And I usually take the screw on the far left and install that. Crap, it fell off the screwdriver just as I was about to put it down. Okay, there we go. This screw has now been installed. Then right on right, left on left. Again, do not mix up your screws. It doesn't necessarily matter for the bottom one. I believe these bottom two are the exact same size, but these are different sizes than that and different sizes than that, so just be careful. Extreme concentration working with a very poorly magnetized screwdriver. Again, if you're going to be doing this this kind of repair often, or if you're going to do it for multiple devices in a row, you will want to get a iPhone or just a phone repair kit. It has a whole bunch of screwdriver bits, and they're usually really magnetic, and it's nice. And they have the full set of tools: spudgers, these plastic doohickeys, and sim tool, suction cup. Usually it has everything you need to ever repair any smartphone, or most smartphones. Okay, now that we got that bracket in, I'm going to put the screen back into the frame of the phone. We got there's these little ridges right here, and you want to put the screen in like this, hook those under the frame of the phone, and then gently press along the edges of the screen. Not too hard, or not in one place by itself. You want to disperse the energy so it doesn't accidentally crack your phone screen. Before I put those last two screws back, the two bottom pentalobe screws, I'm going to boot it up, just see if it works. And it is booting up, so I will replace these screws now. You want to stick them into the frame of the phone, take your pentalobe screwdriver, start screwing them in. Again, with all screws, you don't want to screw too tight because that can cause problems. Again, screw second screw in. You want to make sure to get both these screws in. It keeps the frame of the phone anchored in the body, and it's very helpful. Thank you for watching my video on the iPhone 6s battery repair. The repair was completed successfully. I will show you really quick what the battery health capacity is at. If this phone is, if this battery is, if it'll show me. I don't think it's, yeah, it's not going to show me. I'll charge it up a few times, and, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Thank you for watching my video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you want to, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.